The Fallout 4 Next Gen update has arrived, so I'm jumping back into the game to check out some of the new content, and see just how good Fallout 4 is in 2024. The Next Gen update adds in a bunch of free Creation Club content, as well as apparently doing a few little technical tweaks and bug fixes. I was hoping for a pseudo remaster of sorts coming along with this, and even recorded some pre-patch footage so I can compare the two, but I'm not sure if anything's actually looking better or not. Maybe on console things will be running smoother and seem a tad prettier, but for me and my PC, looks like it's just going to be the new content that changes things. After the whole end of the world, cryosleep surprise and murder of the spouse occurs, I get to make my way to the end of the vault and rebuild my character. For the first time in a long time, I don't actually know what to expect from the quests I'll be undertaking, so I just try and create a character who can work with whatever comes his way. And there's going to be a lot coming his way, as once I'm topside, a half dozen different quests all instantly pop up. A couple of them require me to listen to radio frequencies, and I just want you all to take a listen to this distress call real quick.
Help! They're gonna kill me.
I'm guessing that this is the same issue that Creation Club content in Skyrim had, where you can't add any new voice lines, so you're having to just repurpose old ones or use text to get the message across. But come on, did you really have to leave the awkward pauses in the poor guy's final words? Because there's so many different quests for me to undertake, I decide to check where they all are on the map and see which is closest. Unfortunately, none are actually in my neck of the woods, but there are these two clusters nearby one another, so it looks like I'll be heading east to see what I can find. Before that though, there's something I have to do. This is Fallout 4, so obviously a compulsive looting of everything that isn't nailed down in Sanctuary is going to take place. While there's not much of note, I do of course pick up the issue of Grognak the Barbarian for the melee boost, and grab the special book from under Sean's crib, putting the bonus point into intelligence. And on the way out of Sanctuary, I also take the clothes off the body of the first dead guy I find. Seems I'm adjusting to wasteland life in record time. The new outfit suits me pretty damn well, a sentiment which is shared by Dogmeat, who is obviously going to be our follower for this run. Upon reaching him, I also reach level 2, and throw the point into Lone Wanderer, as the extra carry weight and damage reduction are going to be incredibly helpful. Unfortunately, they still should work fine, even with Dogmeat at my side. On my way to the new quests, I do pass through Concord, which gives me a chance to retest my combat skills, after having been away from the game for a while. And apparently, they've atrophied quite a lot, so fingers crossed I can actually get my eye in before the end of the episode, as we're heading into dangerous territory and I'll need my wits about me to survive. One little detail I really like about Fallout 4 is that it has an auto move button, meaning I can just press it once to keep going, rather than holding down the W key all the time. This is especially handy in this instance, where I wanted to get myself a drink, so I was just able to crouch down to avoid enemies, and leave my character walking forwards while I went AFK. Yeah, that was a nasty surprise to come back to, but fortunately I was able to survive the sneaky bloodbug attack. The rest of the journey to my targeted location, Watts Electronics, goes by without too much danger, and once inside I find this shrine to some kind of comic book looking character called the Black Devil. By reading the note left behind, I also find out that apparently the Black Devil exists in some sort of post-war way, as a vigilante trying to rid the Commonwealth of raiders. Although I'm not sure I should really be using the term vigilante, as there's not any laws for them to be working outside of. Regardless, apparently the devil disappeared about a year ago, and two cousins, Connie and Richie, are looking into bringing him back. I also get to read for a promotional thing about the Black Devil in the pre-apocalypse world, and it sounds like he's exactly the kind of superhero I'd expect that society to be creating. From him being summoned by patriotic music, to the gaining of powers by merging his body with the Constitution. The writing for this quest is so on point, with just the over-the-top nature of Fallout America, that I have to give it props. The next stage of this quest is a fair walkaway, but in the area is another quest, one to find a local merchant. I could certainly do with upgrading my arsenal now that I'm in more dangerous lands, so away I go. On the way I am stopped by this settler who needs my help.
Please, do you have any Radaway? I think I may be dying.
The thing is, I've only got 4 Radaway on me right now, and I don't know how many I'll be needing, or if I'm going to find more. But I also can't just let this person die from radiation sickness, or possibly become a feral ghoul. Fortunately, I have an alternate medicine to hand.
Help me!
0% chance of either of those things happening now. My doctorly duties performed, I then make it to Suggs, the merchant the quest wanted me to find. He looks kinda cool, so I want to chat with him, but I'm rapidly shot down.
Not really. Let's get back to talking about all these great items I have for sale.
Fair enough, all business, no pleasure, I suppose. Suggs has a and saw blade launcher for sale. While I want both, I am a little light on caps right now, so decide to progress the quest, in the hopes I'll get a discount, or maybe even just be given those items for free. By checking the terminal behind him, I learned that he was in business with a guy named Marvin. Sounds like Suggs teased Marvin a little, and is worried now that he's suddenly gone missing. And to top it all off, the new grenade launcher that he and Marvin have been working on is also suddenly being sold by a group nearby. Suggs may not be the brightest proton in the isotope, as he's failed to put 2 and 2 together and figure out that Marvin clearly took the plans and went somewhere else. Whether he's working with a new group or was just killed for them remains to be seen. When I reach the quest location, the place is filled with raiders, which does seem to suggest that Marvin's probably dead and the raiders have taken over operations. I do my best to gain vengeance for the crime I assume these people have committed, and even end up getting a full set of leather armour, proving once again that murder is a very rewarding hobby. Seems my righteous slaughter of the raiders may have actually been under a false motive, as deeper in the building I come across these two folk, helpfully labelled as Marvin's store security. So I guess it is Marvin who set up shop after all. In this location I not only find a cute little piggy mine, but also this note confirming that Marvin is royally pissed off with Suggs and has decided to kill him for being a jerk. The plan in question seems to revolve around him dying due to a lack of healthcare, so I guess not all that much has changed since the bombs dropped. Even though I'm only halfway through this quest, I'm already getting my first big reward. Just look at this beauty. One thing I've always loved about Fallout 4 are the pipe weapons, as the makeshift style fits the Wasteland vibe perfectly, so seeing a pipe grenade launcher just makes me so giddy inside. Not to mention that this thing seems to do gnarly levels of damage, and has a sweet paint job too. And to make this weapon even more ridiculous, turns out it can also have a suppressor. I have literally no idea how you suppress an explosive weapon like this, but it's so wild that I just can't help but love it. I can't spend all day admiring this gun though. I need to get to the rooftop that Marvin mentioned and see if I can save Suggs' life. Finding the location in question actually proves to be very straightforward, but the problem comes when I try to climb the stairs. So turns out those little piggy bank mines are insanely lethal. They have a damage rating of 352, which is even higher than a bottle cap mine. So yeah, no wonder a pair of them were able to blow my head clean off. On my second attempt up the stairs, I'm much more cautious, but this actually leads to the people above noticing me. In a panic, I throw a Molotov at them, which turns out to be super effective. Not only have I killed all my attackers, but there's no more mines to worry about either. Seems that one of the folks up here was Marvin himself, who not only has the missing grenade launcher schematics, but is also wielding a piggy bank launcher. Guessing he thought the mines themselves weren't dangerous enough, so why not just slingshot them about the place for good measure? I may have killed Marvin, but I still need to save Suggs' life. There's a pair of security personnel down by him, and one of them is armed with a real deadly weapon. Seeing how close I got to death, I don't want to take any chances, and use the piggy bank launcher myself. Which turns out to be too effective, as it also kills Suggs. Whoops. Good job I've been saving regularly. This time I use the double crank laser musket and I'm able to kill the pair of attackers, without any collateral damage. From one of them I'm able to pick up the baseball launcher, and over 200 baseballs for it to shoot. And for saving his life, and retrieving the schematic, Suggs rewards me with this legendary Chinese grenade launcher. For the most part this seems to just be an upgraded version of the pipe grenade launcher, though this time there's no suppressor attachment to go with it. At the workbench, I also find out that the piggy bank launcher is literally just a mod for the Fat Man, meaning it could theoretically be applied to a legendary Fat Man to make it even more deadly. My greed for new weapons can't be contained right now, so I slip on some charisma enhancing clothing and make a trade for that saw blade launcher, and I've got a whole host of new weapons to test out, so decide to continue on with the Black Devil quest, which hopefully will give me an opportunity to use them all. And while travelling to my next location, I do get to test out the saw blade launcher, which turns out to be a little disappointing. I'm not really able to work out how to effectively aim the thing, or what charging it up does, but it does stick a saw into this bug quite nicely. At my intended location, there's a couple of Enclave remnants, who I end up using my remaining saws on before finishing them off with the grenade launcher. Here I also find the corpse of Richie. Seems that this group of Enclave soldiers are after Richie and Connie, as the radio frequencies they're messing around with are tied to them in some way. To figure out what's going on, I first need to follow another radio signal and find Connie. The signal leads me to the bad TFL offices, where I get to test out the baseball launcher. Holy crap, this weapon is insane! Did you all see that? Screw it, we're doing an instant replay. So, screw all the other weapons we're getting, this thing is the absolute GOAT. Here's a little montage of me slaying the raiders inside with the most unassuming weapon of mass destruction we've seen so far. There are a couple of minor drawbacks to the weapon though. Not only is it far less deadly outside of VATS, but you really need a clear line of fire to your target, or else things might not work out well. No worries though, I quickly get my revenge, and at this point I notice that the weapon seems to fire more shots in VATS than you actually use. Considering you can pick all the baseballs up off the floor after, it should mean that you never need run out of ammo. After clearing out the raiders, I come across the body of Connie, who has the holotape I need. In order to break into it, I need a password, or a rank or 3 of hacker. Fortunately, I've been saving up my perk points, so I'm able to grab a rank no worries, and then just brute force my way inside. On the tape is the revelation that the signals we've been following are tied to a missing suit of Enclave XO2 power armor, and these remnants have been trying to crack the code in order to find it. Seems none of them had even a single rank of hacker, as they ended up just trying to torture the intel out of Connie instead. I can't sound too smart in all this though, as after my time spent just brute forcing my way into the device, turns out the password was also just on an easily accessible note that both I and the Enclave were too dumb to find on first inspection. Still, I've got the holotape now, so I just need to head to the associated tower, plug it in, and then it should lead me to my reward. It's another hike across the wasteland, but I'm happy to take a quick swim, meaning I'm able to avoid enemies until I reach the tower, and they literally jump out of the ground to attack me, but it's nothing that the baseball launcher can't handle. By raising the tower and plugging in the tape, I'm able to find the final location I need to head to. I reach this little train yard, and at long last test out the but I am left feeling a little underwhelmed. It's not that it's a bad weapon, but after using the baseball launcher for so long, it just clearly isn't as crazy strong. Once inside, I only have a few enemies to face before I power up this radio, not only completing the quest, but also getting me a suit of XO2 power armor, at level 7. I'm so ridiculously overpowered that the final Enclave soldiers don't stand a chance, and I rapidly wipe them out. On the nearby terminal, there's also some entries by the Black Devil, who it turns out was an ex-Enclave Special Forces trooper, and the previous owner of our new power armor. Seems he got sick of being a part of one of the most evil factions of the Wasteland, so escaped with the armor and took on the mantle of a pre-war comic book character, in order to help people out. But now he's decided to leave that life behind as the Enclave were after him. He's left a final request with us. The music that was used to summon him brings back haunting memories of his past, ones that he simply can't live with. And so he asks, shut down the signal forever. The choice is clear. I do the right thing and shut down the signal, letting the Black Devil finally live in peace. But then nothing immediately happens, so I reload the save and try the different option, which is almost as uneventful, but does add in the Enclave radio station. And that was Fallout 4 in 2024. I do hope you enjoyed this video enough to leave it a like, and maybe check out some of my other videos in this series. I gotta say that I absolutely loved heading back into Fallout 4. I'd been eagerly awaiting this update and was holding off on playing the game until it was out, but now that it's out, there's so many videos I want to make. To kick things off, I will be live streaming the game tomorrow, with the plan being to work on a character build that I can hopefully release in the next few days. If you do want to see more of this game, then first off, check out my old content. There are so many Fallout 4 videos, from challenge runs to character builds to even some weirder and wilder stuff. But more importantly, subscribe so you don't miss new content over the next few weeks. As always, thanks for watching. Sarge out.